Hello, Internet. I'm Matt Haas. This is Awesome Wood Things. Let me push this out of the way. What do I have an All Things YouTube sign in an Awesome Wood Things video? I made this sign. This is the logo for my other YouTube channel where I teach you how to be successful on YouTube. And I made this in my wood shop. I'm going to show you how I made it. But first, I want to show you the most awesome feature. I've got this remote control, and isn't that cool? It's an outer glow. How cool is that? All right, here's how I made it. I start with a printout of the letter forms of the logo and put spray adhesive on the back and attach that to the plastic. Then I come over to my scroll saw and cut out the letter forms. Now this is the white backing piece of the letter forms, but it still needs cut out. And I love the scroll saw. It's a fantastic tool. That's looking good. And then I used E6000 adhesive to make the logo and let that dry. Then I take a full-size printout and position it underneath the glass. This is going to be important. I also make sure everything is straight up and down. This is a vinyl cutting machine, and this is taking a piece that will be a mask of sorts. So you have to go through a process to transfer that sticker, essentially, and then I use the image underneath the glass to position everything. Now this needs done on both sides. What I'm doing is I'm masking off the area that I want light to shine through. These blue stickers are temporary. And here comes the spray paint. Now I'm on the back of the sign, and I'm laying down spray paint, and those blue masks will keep the spray paint from touching the glass where they are, obviously. Now I turn my attention to the woodworking. This is actually MDF, which is medium density fiberboard. It's basically very tough paper. It's super easy to work with, but very difficult to finish with paint and other types of color. But this is what I had on hand, and that's what I'm using. So this is the frame. And I keep testing the different materials that will go into the frame, both the glass and the backer material, until I have this profile the way I want it. I come over to the router table, and I'm treating the edges. I'm putting a chamfer on the edges because it has to look nice. I just don't want plain rectangular frame. I want it nice and beveled. This is a test to see if the paint was opaque and you can see through it. I don't like the fact that you can see through it that much. So my test was to use this tape to see if it's opaque. And when I give it a shot, yes, it is in fact opaque and the light does not shine through that thick tape. So that's what I'm going to use. Now I put tape everywhere. Now those blue masking pieces are still on the glass, and I can see those blue masking pieces over the tape. You can kind of see a little outline of them on the camera, and I just use that to cut out the tape where those edges are, and then peel everything up, exposing the glass. So now there's glass. And this is wrong reading because it's on the back. Now I test fit everything into the frame, and everything is coming together very nicely. That little channel is exactly the right space to hold that glass. It holds it pretty snug too, which is what I wanted. I didn't want it rattling around in there. And once the frame is together, I drive in some screws. The white stuff you see on the frame is drywall putty. I had to put that on the frame because, again, the MDF material does not take paint very well, and that will allow me to paint it in the next step. And those screws are flush. They're invisible because I put that paste on them. That paste is pink when it's wet and then dries white, obviously. Here I'm building a box that is going on the back of the unit because I do not want the frame to sit flush against the wall. I want it to stand off the wall about an inch. So this box is going to allow that to happen and hold the electronics. This is the backer of the piece of art, and I'm punching these holes with the drill press to allow heat to escape and cool air to come in, because this is going to be lit up, and lights inside a completely enclosed space is not very smart. Things get hot, and when things get hot, bad things can happen. I ended up not using this art hanger, but it's on there anyway. And now I insert the electronics. This is the infrared sensor. I can turn the lights on and off with a little infrared remote control. And if that's inside the box, well, it'll never work. And then here's the power cord. I thread that through, do a quick test, because once this is together, I'm never going to be able to access this again without tearing everything apart. Make sure everything's permanently attached with hot glue. And then I can screw that backer onto the backer board. That was an odd sentence, but this is attaching that standoff block permanently. And then it's a matter of putting the lights on. Now, the lights have their own adhesive, but I do not trust it, so I am using hot glue in addition to the adhesive. And then I attach the entire art piece backer with screws. And these screws are going in at an angle. I pre-drilled those holes on the drill press off camera. And there you go. Then I throw some paint on it. And it looks great. The last step was to use the E6000 glue to attach the letters onto the glass, and it lets the light seep underneath those letters for that awesome outer glow. I love it. I did add some privacy film on here to cut down on the glare. I have very bright studio lights in here, and I didn't want a white hot spot. Oh, it looks so good. Thanks, Internet.